well, actually, and it's, the thing, it's basically for, and they, actually
Right.
with this, and yeah, but basically, like, you're just like, you see some things and you're just like, it's like, right, it's right, and so kind of,
Please.
it's like, right, and like, right, but it's not, I mean, right, I mean, very,
Mhm.
but that's right, and then right, so there's that, I know. But yeah, I mean, losing, if you go back, if like and a no, no. Yeah. Fuck you. But but my they have a lot of sex. They have like there's a lot of lesbian sex, which is especially like erotic, frankly, right? Like and so there's that, right? And like but the but in any case, right, but actual woman, but but I would try. I was gonna try. I was thinking of trying, but I wouldn't, right, and right, but in any case, and but also exactly, and exactly, and the thing is actually earlier, like like you
Uh-huh.
will and right,
Right. They have.
so it's like right,
Yeah.
but the thing is actually gorilla testicles tiny, right,
Mm.
well, this is they but yeah, they were they're well, they're Mexicans, in fact, and Mexicans, and I mean, that's just I mean, but yes, they're one. No, no, the thing is, if you go to, like, like he really, like he, I mean,
Okay. That's. I was just testing you because
I'm
we're.
just, well, we're, the like, and and then right, and it's like, right, right, and so half chimpanzee, half Hitler, like and no, but like right, and well, if you don't, of course, and there are sort of and right, um and so and so but like right, and so actually is like you're sort of, I think
What
it's
do you
there.
mean?
I mean, the thing is, when you basically, well, you know, yeah, and it's just like actually like, and and it's like he's actually like, I'm gonna this like I don't, it's just, it's like, I don't know, it's just but yeah, no, I would, right,
Mm.
and you're just like, right, and it's right,
Although.
well, certainly, if certainly, I mean, of course, but the thing is, and this is Red Scare, and he so had like and so basically, then and then right, and then right,
Uh-huh.
but right, and so she's like, the and it's sort of, and so in the, and so it's really, it's right, I was like
Right.
basically like, so right, right, and and then of course, and and I I guess, well, well, and so and so like yeah, I mean, you know, and it's just like, and like it's just like, it's like the, but it's just but right, and I love it, but in any case, and the or maybe the but the thing is, right, but in any case, in any case, basically, it's like,
Um,
but, yeah, like, well, I think, I mean, and so, but, well, but the, yeah, actually, and, there's a, ladies, which, I really, but, well,
yeah.
no, he's just,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and, like, and, like, right, and, so he's actually, this, actually, we're just like, with, and this is like basically, right, and so you actually, so if you're basically like, and then right, and so, I mean, but but the is that it's just like, just like, because it's basically, and so, and you know and the but sort of, well, and and it was sort of like, you've heard like, and like, right, and so, there was a, right, and so actually
Should we?
Yeah, I
wrap
think.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are we all done?
I think so.